I charge into that deep, dark, scary pit. Aggro is mine. I hold the line.
Pledging to a Kickstarter is almost like making an investment. Instead of investing your money to get a financial return, in most cases you are still investing in a product or an idea that will lead to a product and getting rewards like exclusive content in return. As such, you should think of it in a similar way as you think of a financial investment. Some great advice I've heard time and again from investors is that you're not only investing in the product or the idea. Ideas are actually pretty easy. You're investing in the people and their ability to deliver, to implement, and to succeed. Before you throw money behind a Kickstarter for a VR MMORPG, you really have to ask yourself, is this the team that is going to deliver? And do they just need a little bit of money to get things done? There isn't really a huge history of VR MMORPGs that have run Kickstarters, and probably the two that come to mind are Zenith and Orbis. Orbis was successfully funded with 554 backers pledging $34,524 back in December 2017. More recently, Zenith was funded with 3,415 backers for a total of $280,075 in July 2020, with their banner stating that they were funded in the first 4 hours. However, there are 7 others that you might not have heard of. Voxelnauts was cancelled back in 2015 but raised more money than Orbis, a total of $157,543. Elora's funding was unsuccessful back in June 2016. New Opportunity, funding unsuccessful back in June 2016. MMO VR Prototype, funding unsuccessful January 2017. Phoenix funding unsuccessful April 2017. Swords and Magic cancelled June 2019, and right now there is a Kickstarter for Oathbreakers, which actually has 28 days left, and last time I checked they're about 24% of their total funding goal. It's also worth mentioning another VR MMORPG on the horizon that looks promising, Archgate, who are not currently running a Kickstarter at this time. Suffice to say, others have come before, and others are bound to fail. Making a successful MMO is actually quite hard. Making it VR is doubly hard. In addition to the team, you also need to nail the timing. And is this the right time for a VR MMORPG? I argue that yes, it probably is. I can talk more about this in another video, but with the next iteration of the quest right around the corner and with the promise of more capable standalone headsets coming, I think it's the right time to support this kind of project. Orbis back in 2017 I'd argue was a bit early. Zenith has definitely capitalized on the right timing. So what about the team? Who are Team 21 Studio, and are they the team that is going to bring us a successful VR MMORPG? I performed some basic, certainly not exhaustive research, and originally this video contained what I could find on each listed team member's LinkedIn profile and the information they had on their website profile. However, after having a talk with Xander, I offered to remove this part of the video. Instead, I'll just say this. Do some research. I've linked their website in the description below, and there's also a wiki page and other information on their Kickstarter page. When you donate money to a cause, you should take some time to get to know the people behind it. As of the remaking of this video, Elysia is at 92% funded of their 60,000 USD goal, with 20 days left. There's plenty of time to get the last 8% they need, and I'm confident they'll get there. For me, the choice to pledge is pretty easy. Given that I've already had several hours of fun in the pre-alpha, a pledge at the 30 to 40 tier level to get into the alpha or beta testing phases is definitely reasonable since it includes a digital copy of the game. Personally, I pledged at the $200 level. A project like this needs significant funding to get from pre-alpha to polished release. Having said that, I love an underdog, and you can make up for some lack of funding with a passionate, dedicated team. Almost every big studio started somewhere, often with a few guys and a few resources but a lot of grit. Do I have concerns? Well, yeah, of course I do. I'm not gonna lie. However, keep in mind what you are seeing in this video is my own gameplay going through the pre-alpha. This isn't pre-recorded dev footage. The stuff I'm doing in the background only includes things everybody else who's in the pre-alpha could do if they were in the pre-Kickstarter or joined Patreon. Now, Elysia is far from complete, but it does exist as a playable experience. They do have a server you can log into, and I've seen several people gathered at a single spot within the game. Game development is hard. These days, it's notoriously easy to put together a prototype, but very difficult to ship a finished product. It takes a lot of talent, experience, and skill, and even AAA studios with big budgets regularly have to delay or cancel games. Can an indie studio put out a great game? Absolutely, especially if the indie studio is started by industry veterans who have left larger studios to set off on their own. Now you might be thinking, but surely if they raise, let's say $1 million from the Kickstarter, which would be 4 times what Zenith raised last month, they would have what they need to hire some additional professionals and create an excellent game. Well, consider the original World of Warcraft was created by a team of roughly 40 people, and that was far from Blizzard's first game. The studio had already been around for 10 years and had 2 successful franchises under their belts, Diablo and StarCraft. At today's rates, just for salaries, a team of 40 people would easily set you back a few million a year. World of Warcraft's original budget was in the tens of millions, possibly as much as 40 million according to one source. This could be why big studios are shying away from this kind of development. Well, what about Zenith? Zenith is not relying on their Kickstarter to fully fund the project. They have spoken of other investors. While I'm not sure who those other investors are or how much they've invested, the Kickstarter was really about driving up awareness and community support rather than raising money. Do a little bit of math. Suppose a $15 a month subscription to sustain $1 million budget, you need something like 5,500 subscribers. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, it's been done before. Are they ready for over 5,000 players on their server? This leads me to one of my major concerns. Is this even possible at a larger scale at this time? If you spent a lot of time in social VR platforms, you'll notice that there are definitely limits to how many people can be seen at one place at one time. In many, they require instancing of locations in order to host large events. In Orbis, at least on the Quest, you'll notice other players disappear from the screen pretty quickly, becoming little blue stars. Also, if you happen to join Burning Man in Outspace, even though the events say they had hundreds of people at them, they were each in individual instances of the same event. VR Chat has a similar feature for large events. If an event is going to have thousands of people, they instance it off into smaller events to make it more manageable. You kind of end up with this catch-22. You need lots of subscribers to finance an MMO, but in VR, hosting that many players might drive up the cost too quickly to make it practical. Unless you start taking shortcuts and don't take advantage of all the features of VR and basically make a flat screen MMO that you can play in a VR headset, which still might be fun, but I'd much rather see developers taking full advantages of the features of VR to make it immersive. Between Orbis, Zenith, Elysia, and Archgate, someone is going to succeed and will land a good quality VR MMORPG. Now I can't back them all, so I'm going to stick with Elysia for now. Elysia seems to have put a pause on the pre-alpha until the Kickstarter is done, so there won't be any new videos until I can get back into the game. They are teasing a lot of new features that I haven't experienced yet in the game, but as soon as I can, I'll make some more videos covering the updates. With my current pledge level, I'll have access to all the alphas and betas, so if you can't pledge with the Kickstarter, I'll try to keep you in a loop with game progress. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to support it for free. I plan to cover Elysia and Zenith, as well as continuing to provide Half-Life Alyx tutorials, Squadrons gameplay, and Walking Dead videos with a few other topics thrown in for good measure. Hope to see you in VR.